So what is the most popular caliber in America today? Now, I discovered this information doing research for my novelty ammunition boxes, which I sell at onlytacticalfans@shopify.com, and they definitely go through rigorous testing, so you know it's good. All right, I'm performing the 3-foot high drop test. All right, impact resistance test commencing on sample 9 and sample 15. Yeah. As I'm deciding to move past just 5.56 boxes, I'm like, well, hey, what should be the next caliber I should do? Because I don't want to just pick a stupid caliber nobody's going to want to buy a box for, otherwise it's kind of a waste of time. So I found out you can really break this down into 3 different categories, or at least that's what I broke it down into. You got installed base, that's firearms that existed, they're already in the gun safes. Then you got current buying trends, that's rifles people are buying right now. And then you got ammunition trends. Every single one of these is pretty drastically different. So we're going to start off with installed base. What are we looking at here? So we are looking at 22 long rifles, number 1. Most households have multiple 22s in it. It's just the way it is. It's so easy to shoot. It's easy to train people on. Everybody's got a couple of 22s in their house. Next one, 223 or 5.56. Now these calibers, I'm going to call it a caliber just to simplify things, so don't worry about correcting me in other videos. Yes, I know 223 is different than 5.56. It's arguable how different, and even if the difference matters, but that's a video for a different time. So we're just going to call it a caliber, same with 308 and 7.62 by 51. So this caliber actually took off in 2008 with the AR-15 boom. When the AR-15 boom just started going, that caliber got really popular and really, really fast. I mean, clearly it made it to number 2. It is number 2, and I guess you could call it legacy firearms, but I'm going to call it installed firearms. Next one, 30-06. That's because Grandpa won World War II with it, so he bought it for his hunting rifle. Dad bought it because he wanted the rifle that won World War II, plus Grandpa gave him his, so now he's got, we'll say that each generation bought one, so now he's got 2 of them. Then he gave those to his son, who now has 3 of them because the son also bought one. He wanted to buy the same caliber that Grandpa and Dad bought, or Grandpa and Dad bought him a rifle, and, well, what's the greatest caliber ever made? 30-06. So that's why 30-06 is number 3 on the list. Next one, number 4 is 308. That's because of the hunting and military crossover. You could like a military rifle, and it's also a great hunting rifle. Nobody ever is going to say that, hey, 308 is not a good hunting rifle. Yeah, they do it all the time with 5.56, which isn't true, but they do. But they won't with a 308 because the ballistic performance on a 308 and a 30-06 is almost identical. And that's probably the main reason why 308 doesn't beat 30-06 in the legacy rifles, because the kids buy the rifle that their dad had. And yeah, 308 is pretty cool, but are you getting anything over 30-06? Absolutely not. Next one, 270. That's America's deer rifle. It has been for a long time. It goes way back. So, yeah, 270, definitely on the list. We're at number 5. Number 6, 243. That is the youth deer rifle. In America, if you're looking for a deer rifle and you don't want to give your kid a 223, the next obvious choice is a 6mm. 6mm, light recoil. It takes a 308 casing. It's just neck down to 6mm. Plenty of power. They look at that and they're like, all right, so a 308's got the same ballistics as 30-06. Well, the recoil is kind of harsh. I want to give my kid something a little bit lighter. Since I know the ballistics is the same from 30-06 to 308, the casing is the same on 243, so 243 is kind of just like giving them a youth model of a 30-06, and that's how they quantify it in their head. Yeah, I know it probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but a lot of people it does. Next one, 7mm Win. That is because that's been the Western hunting cartridge since the 1960s. mountain hunting, stuff like that, long distance hunting, 7mm Win Mag, that's where a lot of people go at. The next one, obviously, last but not least, is 7.62 by 39, and that's because of the AKs and the SKSs. So, this is the list of installed. These are the calibers people already have. Your average gun safe, if you were to crack it open and just average it out across America, what you're going to find inside of it is a 22 long rifle, obviously, a 30-06 or a 270, because those are pretty much America's hunting rifles, and depending on the popularity, maybe a 243, and you're definitely going to find a new production AR-15. Pretty much every single gun safe. All right, so what are we looking at? Current buying trends. Now, we're going to talk about rifles right here. Ammunition's right here, but rifles right here. What are people buying right now? What are the rifles chambered in that people are purchasing? Number one, 22 long rifle. Obvious. Like, the ammunition is just so cheap. The rifles are cheaper. You can get 22 clones of pretty much everything, and they're actually affordable. Next one, AR-15s, 223. Like, that's... Now, I'll explain later why I'm just saying AR-15, but 223/5.56, that is number 2 on the current buying trends. Number 3, 308, or 7.62 by 51 NATO. That is number 3 on the current buying trends. 6.5 Creedmoor is number 4. Right now, 30-06 is number 5, which is pretty crazy because 30-06 was number 3 on legacy rifles. But over here on actual rifles people are buying, it's number 5. 30-06 is dying a slow death, and we'll touch on that a little bit more, but it's just the way it is. Number 6, 7.62 by 39. Probably the only reason it's even making it on this list is because of AKs. Otherwise, it's just not that good of a cartridge. And the real question is, where is 5.45? It didn't make any of these lists, which is pretty wild. 270, obviously because that was America's hunting cartridge for so long, it's going to be generational. Yeah, my dad had a 270, I'm buying a 270. My grandpa had a 270, my dad had a 270, I'm buying a 270. 7mm mag, for obvious reasons, we already talked about this. This is still the Western hunting rifle. 300 Win Mag, also, that has a lot to do with YouTube, long-range shooting, and the fact that you can hunt long distance. 300 Win Mag has been a slow creeper. Yeah, it's pretty much dead now because of the 300 PRC. I shouldn't say pretty much dead because it's still selling, but I'm saying 300 PRC is going to take its marketplace. All the PRCs are, to be honest. We're going to be looking at 7mm PRC, 300 PRC, and 6.5 PRC if I do this video like 5 or 10 years from now. They are taking the market space. Number 10, 243. I believe that's because it's a youth hunting rifle and it's just there for a small period of time. It's not like someone looks at a 243 as this is the rifle I'm going to hunt with forever. It's usually like I'm going to get my kid a 243 and then as soon as he gets a little bit older, I'm going to bump him up to the old odd 6 or 308 or maybe a 270. All right, so what ammunition is selling? Number 1, 22 long rifle. Guess how much they're selling? 4 to 5 billion with a B, billion rounds every single year. That is wild. And it all goes down to the 80-20%, the 80-20 factor. 20% of ammunition takes up 80% of the market space. 20% of the shooters do 80% of the shooting. It's this weird formula that works across the board regardless what category you put it in. The 80-20 factor. The next closest one, which doesn't even scratch at 22 long rifle, is 5.56 or 223 at 1.2 to 1.6 billion. Still quite a bit though. That's a lot. Next is 308. We're looking at 300 to 500 million. Then you got 7.62 by 39, 250 to 400 million. We're just going to cruise through these now. 6.5 Creedmoor, 120 to 200 million. 30-06, 80 to 150 million. 300 Blackout, finally making the list. And I'll explain why in a little bit. Looking at 80 to 120 million. 270, 60 to 100 million, and 243, 50 to 90 million. So why did 300 Blackout make the list now? You may be asking. And that's because it's silencer friendly and it goes into a AR-15 style rifle. Now that by itself doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but when you look at the rest of it, who's doing the shooting? Is it going to be 300 Win Mag? Hell no. They're going to shoot that thing to sight it in, confirm zero, and hunt with it. maybe 60 rounds a year. Where a 300 blackout, you're going to train with that. You're going to be dumping rounds at the range. You're going to be shooting all the time. So if you have a 300 blackout into your like end of the world rifle setup, you're going to be shooting ammunition for it. So yeah, it doesn't have a spot on rifles that are being bought right now. But even though it's not one of the most popular rifles being bought, it's one of the most popular ammunitions being bought. Number 7, because that's the type of shooting you're going to do with it. And that's why 22 just kills all the rest of them. Just absolutely just crushes the market share. Because 22 long rifle, it's super cheap, super light recoil, super fun to shoot. People are more motivated to shoot a 22 long rifle. And that's why AR-15, 4.5 billion, there's not even another one that comes close to that. Just because, how do you buy AR-15 ammunition? You buy it in bulk, you train with it, you hunt with it, you shoot with it. You're more likely to take that to the range. And I'll tell you, even like when I was doing my shooting with the 300 PRC, I went to the range, I don't think I ever went through a full 20 rounds. It was like 5 or 10 rounds, and then I switched off to a different rifle and started shooting that just because it was like almost $5 a trigger pull, and the percussion was just insane. That is a hard rifle to shoot a lot. 5.56, you can just hammer, boom, 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 boom. I didn't even shoot my 243 that much in the AR-10. I shot it a lot more than a 300 PRC, but you could tell by the cost and the recoil which ones I would shoot most by the videos. You'd see the low, like 22 long rifle and stuff like that. I'd be at the range just hammering like 300 yards shooting little 12 gauge hauls. Because it was a blast. Oh, wind picked up a little bit and you get to learn to use the scope. You're cranking on the turrets. That's why you're seeing such a big difference between rifles sold and ammunition sold, because the ammunition is directly related to how the rifle is being used. 7.62 by 39. Yeah, it did. Did it even make it? No, it did not even make it on the... Oh yeah, it did, number 6. But it's number 4 on ammunition sold, which is pretty awesome. All right, so what are we looking at here? 22 long rifle plus 5.56 takes up 65 to 70% of the market. That means all the rest of the other firearms combined only take up 30 to 35% of the market. That's firearms and ammunition. That's wild. I mean, look at these numbers. For 22 long rifle, you're looking at 4 to 5 billion, and then AR-15 or 5.56, you're looking at 1.2 to 1.6 billion. That's a huge market share. And that's why everybody and their mother, including High Point now, even puts out an AR-15, because that's a massive market share you just can't ignore. It gets even crazier. If you remove 22 long rifle from the stats, 40 to 60% of all center-fired cartridges come out of the barrel of an AR-15. 40 to 60%. That is wild. That's a huge market share. I'm going to tell you why these numbers matter too in just a little bit, so just hang on to that information right there. So what are we seeing going in the opposite direction? And that's 30-06. It's dying. From 1970 to about 2005, it was king. Obviously because it won World War II. It's a legacy rifle. They've been passed down. It was America's cartridge for a long, long time. But it went the way of the 30-30, because it started off 30-30. That's because everybody wanted to be a cowboy. Then after the war was won in World War II, well, now everybody wants the cartridge that won the war. And now 6.5 Creedmoor is basically taking the space of 30-06. We're talking like bolt-action rifle. Yes, the 30-06 is a longer cartridge, so it fits in a bigger space. But that's another reason why 6.5 Creedmoor is also taking the space of that. Popular. Better ballistics, softer recoil, more forgiving. The 6.5 Creedmoor kills the 30-06 and it's taken over that space. So, what do these numbers mean to you? How can you apply them in real life? Because there's a lot going on here. I mean, just look at this board. It's just packed full of numbers left and right and explanations. And what does all this mean? That means if you are serious about survival or being prepared or any sort of end of the world stuff, it is in your best interest to have 5.56 and 22 long rifle, because about 65 to 40% of the houses you go into, we're going to pretend like, make up your scenario, right? I'm just going to throw one out there. Some disease hits, 90% of American dies, you're out fending and scavenging. 65 to 70% of the houses you go into, you will find either 22 long rifle or 5.56. So it is in your best interest to incorporate both of those rifles into your system. Yeah, other rifles are cool too. If you want something longer range, right now, currently, 308 is the way to go. So you get your 22 long rifle, you get your 5.56, now you get into 308. 6.5 Creedmoor is after that. So, all right, I don't want a 308, I want to go something that's a little bit more designed for precision. Well, that would be 6.5 Creedmoor. I probably wouldn't go with anything below those. So I would go either, well, I would make sure I have 22 long rifle, 5.56. Now for my long range stuff, 308. Once you get those, now you can buy the bougie calibers and start getting the weird stuff. But those are the ones that are the cornerstone of your rifle setups. So anyway, all this information is great. You know, it's up to you how you apply it. And again, don't forget to shop at OnlyTacticalFans@Shopify.com. Boom! The 308 box is coming out shortly. Thank you for watching. If you don't want to shop at OnlyTacticalFans@Shopify.com, but you still want to support the channel and you don't want to spend any extra money, the next best way to do that is click on that Amazon affiliate link. Just by clicking on that link, even if you don't buy what that link is for, just clicking on it and doing the Amazon shopping you were already going to do anyway, a little kickback for it because you came there off my channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.